All right, we got about 10 seconds before we go live.
Good guess. Happy Black History Month to all of you out there listening.
Audio Jungle.
All right, welcome everyone. This is the CSRN podcast, our week in review. We're streaming live from Mott Branch Library. So what we're going to do right now, and it's Black History Month, Jody.
It's Black History Month.
So what we're going to do right now, we're going to play our intro video. That way you can like, share, and comment. This is the CSRN podcast, our week in review. We'll be right back.
I must confess that that dream that I had that day has at many points turned into a nightmare. Now, the other thing that we've got to come to see now that many of us didn't see too well during the last 10 years, that is that racism
Not guilty.
is still alive in American society and much more widespread.
Broke his neck after Baltimore police.
A handful of protesters, a handful of criminals and thugs who...
Many in moments of anger, many in moments of deep bitterness, engage in riots. And as long as America postpones justice, we stand in the position of having these recurrences of violence and riots over and over again. Social justice and progress are the absolute guarantors of riot prevention.
Mr. Gray's death was a homicide.
The Negro was freed from the bondage of physical slavery.
The athletes marched onto a stage.
But at the same time, the nation refused to give him land to make that freedom meaningful. Freedom without land to cultivate. Freedom and famine at the same time.
And create jobs for our people.
The Negro is to be free. He must move down into the inner resources of his own soul and sign with a pen and ink of self-assertive manhood his own Emancipation Proclamation. But I want to get the language right tonight. I want to get the language so right that everybody here will cry out, yes, I'm black, I'm proud of it, I'm black and beautiful. Individually, we are poor when you compare us with white society in America. We are poor. Collectively, we are richer than all the nations in the world with the exception of 9. That's power right there if we know how to prove it. We begin the process of building a greater economic base. And at the same time, we are putting pressure where it really hurts. We don't have to argue with anybody. We just need to go around to these stores and to these massive industries in our country. Say, God sent us by here to say to you that you're not treating his children right. We come by here to ask you to make the first item on your agenda bad treatment where God's children are concerned. Now, if you're not prepared to do that, we do have an agenda that we must follow. And our agenda calls for withdrawing economic support from you. We mean business now, and we are determined to gain our rightful place in God's world.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. This is what I will call our Black History Month edition, even though every CSRN podcast is Black History, is Black History Month, is Black Lives Matter Day, is Free the Land Day, is Black is Beautiful Day. It's all of that, justice or else, hands up, don't shoot.
It don't rub off.
Right. So it don't rub off. It's just something that we do. Black History Month just caught up with us. So, hey, we're going to do what we normally do. So let's get started with some introductions. I'm Brother Washington Muhammad. I'm an active and registered member of the Nation of Islam here in Toledo. And later on, we're going to talk about Savior's Day. That's the annual Nation of Islam convention. That's going down in Detroit later on this month. And also, I'm one of the co-founders of CSRN, along with Mike Leonardi and Jabril Bey. Both of them are still on Facebook. Like them and friend them at your risk if you want. All right.
Jabril was just here not too long ago.
Right. And we didn't get banned. So, yeah, I guess wasn't that bad, or he didn't do a good enough job. But it was both of them that came up with the idea of community solidarity, which is a decentralized way of local programming, because we weren't attached to a church, mosque, synagogue, or any other organization. All of the activists just came together and formed something that could be our own. And I guess somebody will be hard pressed to try to make it other than that. Hey, let's get into what am I wearing today? I guess I'm wearing maybe some of the unprotester wear, like wherever. So I've got a Argyle black, gray, and black, gray, and charcoal sweater with a dress shirt button up to the top, baseball cap, black baseball cap. I've got my glasses on by Optical, Twix in between. That's my sister, Kristen Moncrief. Hit her up. And as always, I'm dedicated to respecting, protecting, and defending all Black bodies, no matter the cost, no matter the gains or loss. And this is the home of Black Lives Matter and Justice or Else. And we're doing this for the activist culture and the protest community, where we always have a seat at the table, because, Jody, it's our table.
Right.
All right.
We created it.
Right. And we're going to get into our mission statement. We'll get into our guiding principles, some of those guiding principles we shared last week at the flag raise, and we might circle back and just do a couple of dap ups, for that, because that's a big thing. The flag is still up. You can ride downtown right now and see it. So, Jody, if you could introduce yourself, what are you wearing today? And then we'll get into our mission statement.
What's up, everybody? Jody J. Summers, child of the system, better known as Spoken Truth, the treasurer of this wonderful organization. And as you see me on my phone reaching out to people, I want to thank each and every last one of you for continuing to join us every single week, except for elections, or if there's a protest that we feel needs our services. We are here in these seats and trying to give you information that during the rest of the week we go out and meet. Like we were just talking about the flag raising and stuff. I was able to attend today's thing, and it was a beautiful performance, but we'll talk more about that later, as the country is coming out of a deep thaw and getting over Super Bowl stuff and Epstein files and everything like that. I just want to say I hope your mental health is okay today. Through all of the things that we kind of consume from our screens and stuff like that, some things aren't your problem, and it's good to have strong people in this world, like my mentor, Brother Washington.
All right, there you go. All right.
Who can let us know when everything is not your fight. So, sometimes everything is not your fight. And even if you felt it was your fight, it's okay to not have to post about it. It's
That's
okay.
right.
You don't have to wear banners and matter of fact, what was this? Because it's in my pocket. But as I went to my executive committee meeting Monday, one of our friends, Dan Rutt, I want to say it is.
Yeah, Dan Rutt.
From Top Pun, he had a whole bunch of buttons out there. And I remember one of the first ones I started wearing like in 2015, 16 was slogans are not enough. And I think that's a lot of the stuff that we go through outside of our studio right now. We have a whole bunch of kids playing and oblivious to the world that we as adults see and everything like that. And I'll ask again, I hope your mental health is okay. So how do you get to this point? How do you go through more than a decade of some of the worst atrocities committed to humankind and still be caring about other people?
Yeah.
Have not given up, have not said, you know what, I'm just going to join the other team because they seem like they're having so much fun over there.
That's right.
We have a list of kind of like rules, our Bible, if you can say that, and that is our mission statement.
And the guiding principles, which, man, really glues everything together so that anyone that comes through the studio or organizing with us, you can kind of get the same feel.
Right. And it allows us to be level-headed because we know the legends and the giants that we stand on in that process as I don't know if it was on the beginning of this show or we do now like the pre-clips as you're getting on. We built this. This wasn't something that we co-opted. It was like, oh yeah, they're doing that. We're just gonna put an asterisk on the name over there.
Yeah.
This is us. We are Community Solidarity Response Network, and we advocate for many things. We associate, like we had Brown Bosses on.
That's right.
And we've had other organizations on, like Crave and Stula. We've had the Junction Coalition in here. We've had the Frederick Douglass Center because we know that together we are stronger and pulled apart, we kind of are nothing.
That's right.
So if you're ever interested in getting even this podcast in itself, our format is definitely different from anything else you'll see on the screen. So we're not trying to go viral and meet all these numbers and stuff because we're not toxic, triggering, or trendy. We're not trying to hit none of those 3 T's right there. We're trying to be engaging, knowledgeable, and open with our community. So it doesn't matter whether you're a yoga teacher or a senator, you can have a seat at this table and have your 15, 20 minutes to talk about yourself. We don't want to know what happened at the Super Bowl, if there are awards or some summit or an opinion that you're not a part of. We want to know about you.
All right.
So I like that about our show. And this is our mission statement. This is what's kept us on air for 6 years.
That's right.
6 years and 11 years as an organization.
That's something to think about too.
It really is. Like I didn't have a grandchild when I started this.
Neither did I.
I didn't have a passport when I started
All
this.
right.
Or a book or any of the other stuff that I created from this.
Wow.
And that is the beauty of communion and meeting people from all kinds of backgrounds. Until you are traveled, you can't really talk about anybody else or where they come from if you don't know what their living situation is. But here's how we got started in 2014. Before we moved buildings, before we adapted and updated our technology, we were just a group of people coming together. So we are the Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo, formed on November 25th, 2014, the day after it was announced that the killer, a Ferguson, Missouri police officer of Michael Brown, an unarmed teenager, would not be indicted. We bring awareness to the injustices experienced by Black men, women, and children who are disproportionately murdered, attacked, provoked, and harassed by law enforcement. Police brutality has to end. We bring awareness to the fact that most often, police brutality goes without consequence and accountability. Police impunity has to end. We utilize the tactics of protest, civil disobedience, event disruption, and citizen advocacy to give voice to those who are otherwise voiceless. We facilitate progressive, community-based events that help foster self-development And we discuss measures to hold local leadership accountable, yes, accountable to their sworn duties, be they politician, clergy, law enforcement, educators, etc., etc. We want justice, equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, yes, all, regardless of class, creed, or color. For all lives to matter, Black lives, yes, Black lives must matter. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr.
And maybe right after the guiding principles, it's Black History Month, and every week we either share a Black Lives Matter moment, we'll share a Kwanzaa word of the day, we'll share something about us. So maybe right after our guiding principles, we'll get into our Black Lives Matter moment. We'll take a short break and come back with a dynamic guest. All right. And it's Black history. We're going to find a first about him. All right. Well, first him ever anyway. So we got some history right there anyway. These are our CSRN guiding principles. And man, we found these, or we came upon these in 2015 at the Movement for Black Lives convening, where all of the young activists were coming together and they shared something. They shared how sometimes it's us that are undoing our own organizations because if one of us isn't so-called Black enough, if some of us aren't educated enough, or if we're not with the right fraternity or sorority, man, look, we throw everybody under the bus.
Yep,
and only thing we end up getting left with is our own tired clique. All right. So these are the CSRN guiding principles. All Black lives matter, queer Black lives, trans Black lives, formerly and presently incarcerated Black lives, poor working, wealthy Black lives, differently able Black lives, Black men and women lives, immigrant Black lives, Black elderly and children lives. All Black lives matter and are the creators of this space. We throw no one under the bus. We rise together. Ashe.
Ashe.
And that means one who changes a thing or one who makes a thing happen. Thriving instead of surviving. Our vision is based on the world we want, not the one we're currently in. We seek to transform, not simply react. We want our people to thrive, not just exist, think beyond the possible. Ashe.
Ashe.
Experimentation and innovation must be built into our work. Embrace the best tools, practices, and tactics, and leave those behind that no longer serve us. Ashe.
Ashe.
Evaluation and assessment must be built into our culture. Critical reflection must be a part of all of our work. We learn from our mistakes and our victories. Ashe.
Ashe.
Principal struggle can exist in a positive environment. We must be honest with one another by embracing direct, loving communication. Ashe.
Ashe.
Love, self-practice in every element of all we do. Love and self-love must be a driver of our work and an indicator of our success. Without this principle and without healing, we will harm each other and undermine our movement. Ashe.
Ashe.
360-degree vision. We honor past struggles and wisdom from elders. The work we do today builds the foundations of movements of tomorrow. We consider our mark on future generations. Ashe.
Ashe.
Self-care means we build resilient spaces by budgeting time, energy, and resources for healing. Self-care is a regular, consistent, intentional, and essential practice. Ashe.
Ashe.
The most directly affected people are experts at their own lives and should be at leadership at the center of our movement and telling their stories directly. Ashe.
Ashe.
Training and leadership development should be fundamental. Our movement must constantly grow and leadership must constantly multiply. Ashe.
Ashe.
Hey, Jody, before we take a short break, I wanted to get into our Black Lives Matter moment or Black History Month edition of CSRN. And whenever we talk about Black history, it doesn't mean that that person has to be deceased.
Right.
All right. We're making history right now. And I wanted to highlight moving to the Padua Center, because we went from the Kent Branch Library. We were there for maybe a few months. And then we met at the mosque. We were there for maybe a couple of months. And then a space opened at the Padua Center. And if you don't know Sister Jenny Welch, she's not part of the Black History part, but she is. She opened the door to the Padua Center. If you've ever been through the Padua Center, all of the rooms upstairs are named after the Nguzo Saba. And it was awesome being there and reciting the Solidarity Pledge. And we recited the Solidarity Pledge at the flag raising. We recite the Solidarity Pledge at almost every thing that we do. And it was great to hear that said, because other members would say it, or I would. Yeah. And that pledge originated from the Million Man March. And that was said to nearly 2 million men in 1995 in Washington, D.C. I was one of them, and that's when I became not a villain. All right, that's when I became a savior. That was my savior moment right there, not my villain moment. Well, a villain to disunity, all right, a villain to cowardice, a villain to weakness, all right, maybe that.
They're always going to be scary to someone. Just make sure it's the right people.
It's all good. All right. No, I'm too old to care. All right. So, so that's my Black Lives Matter moment. If everybody realized that we do have our beat camera on today, so you get a chance to see some of the behind the scenes stuff that, yep, we do read on papers. All right. Hey, it is what it is. And so, Jody, we're talking about Black History Month.
No different than the teleprompter.
And on our page, you'll see why we have the colors of our logo. And it comes from the Pan-African flag that Marcus Garvey created nearly over 100 years ago. And the red is the blood that we shed. The black is the universal essence of the people, not the color. All right. Because if we were black, it would be a problem. All right. But it's not a color. All right. No more than when somebody say, I'm seeing red, you're not seeing red. No more when somebody says, I'm feeling blue, or you're not the color blue, or somebody say you're yellow, like for a cow. It doesn't mean that you're yellow. It has a meaning, all right?
And melanin in our skin.
Right, come on, man. But anyway, all right. I'll get ready to change it to something else. and the green is for the land that we once owned, but we're going to get back, all right? So, Jody, we're talking about Black History Month and the Black Lives Matter moment. What is it that you've experienced through our almost 12 years now? Yeah. All right. You're just a kid.
Basically.
All right, straight out of high school.
All
right.
Name, no purpose, no book, man. I just wanted to find somewhere where I could belong. Luckily, after the 99th millionth try, I finally found something. So I'm going to piggyback on where we got our mission statement to the second one, the Million Man March that was held at 10/10/15.
Yeah, that was the 15. Was it the 20-year anniversary of the Million Man March? Where's our sign at? It's right there.
Yep, because in 95 I was like 12.
Yeah. It was the 20th year, so 1995 was the first, all right? And then 20 years later, we came back, but we had to come back with the youth.
Yep.
All right? It was cool for us old heads, and old heads do what old heads do. I wasn't an old head 20 years ago, all right? Damn it, I'm one now, all right? All right, by the grace of God, I am. So, yeah, the Million Man March pledge?
Yep, the Million Man March, my first time ever going to D.C. Shout out to Della and our acting troupe and everything like that.
Man.
So we all went, and then lo and behold, I found I think we saw each other. Brother, well, I know I got some recording because I was able to get up on the lawn and stuff like that. But Saw that. We found our brother from Brave and a whole bunch of activists who you didn't think would be connected and stuff.
Yeah,
it was kind of
man.
like a weird awakening. They say if 30 people go down to Miami, the whole city's there. But that's kind of what it felt like. It was, I believe I met him. We all gathered up around the Lincoln statue.
Yeah.
And then when I went back, thanks to Anton Parks, I actually got to see the MLK statue because we didn't make it on that trip. But that was very inspiring. It was actually the last time you could walk in front of the White House at 10/10/15, because then after that, they closed it, or I haven't been in front of the White House since when I was in D.C. last. I didn't.
They did it like the police station, because before we did our 2020 protest, it was we could walk around then. So they put all those things up,
all the barriers and stuff, because people with signs were scary.
Yeah, we did our work.
But and it's one of the things that, again, it's sad to say that you won't be able to do it now. It's kind of like climbing to the top of the Lady Liberty and things. Some things don't last forever, but if you are a part of it, it was beautiful. At that time, we had no idea what we were building. If you had told us back then that we would be raising the Pan-African flag
at one government center, and then later on the day, we have our own podcast.
Yeah, and then every proceeding, because I was there today, would be in front of our flag. So yeah, Million Man March, Part 2, Deuce, as they say.
Yeah, all right.
was my moment. So I'm gonna get ready to get on out of here so I could take some photos for y'all behind the scenes, and we could have our wonderful guest on.
All right. Hey, listen, so stay tuned. This is the CSRN podcast, a week in review. We'll be right back.
Pathway Incorporated Brothers United program believes that children are important. Every day we support and advocate for fathers, because when children have involved fathers, the whole community thrives. The fathers that come into the Brothers United program are mostly young fathers who are primarily gang members or drug dealers, or those involved in lots of trauma from the time when they were youth until now. The program has fatherhood classes, which teach you about your role as a father, the importance of being a father, healthy relationships, how to co-parent and work better together with your co-parent, and then economic stability, how to get a job, how to keep a job. It is so important for fathers to learn to take care of their children holistically, not just emotionally, not just physically, but financially as well, because children need a holistic approach.
I really just needed help with really being a better father and looking for a job to be able to support my kids.
Some of the problems I was facing when I joined Brothers United was communication with my children. Had some time apart from each other for a while, so they gave me the tools to really get back in communication with them.
Fathers will come into our program with their heads down. 2 weeks later, their heads are up. 3 weeks later, they're laughing and talking. 4 weeks later, they're building a bond. And by the time we get to 8 weeks, they're saying, hey, we want to stay here. What can we do to stay connected?
It gave me a better perspective on how to look at things from other people's point of view. You know, sometimes us as men, we get caught up in being prideful and arrogant, thinking we don't need the help. We do. And we just have to put our pride, selfishness, and arrogance to the side. And when the help is there, take it.
Hope plays the most important role in everything that we do, because we have to have hope. We have to remember that fathers are important, and we have to not only say it, but we have to live it. We have to breathe it. We have to do it. We have to convey it to everyone.
Let's get a BU Nation on 3, fellas. 1, 2, 3. BU Nation!
The dads give us hope. The dads supply for us on the days when it gets hard. On the days when we've seen more violence than we ever want to see. On the days when we've lost some dads to jail or to murder, they give us hope. And so the hope that lives can change, if you invest in them, if you believe in them, then lives can change.
Brothers United changed my life, I would say, because of where I come from, what I've been through. I learned to understand it is help out there. Don't be scared to ask for it. If you don't reach, you can't grab. That's it.
They made me more employable, more desirable by employers, which in turn helped me provide for my family and provide for my children and my grandchild. So it makes me a better man, a better father, and a better example.
It showed me like how to be better to my kids, so I went and got custody of my son. My son been with me for a couple months now. So this showed me how to be a better parent all around, just a better man, period.
Initially, I didn't know that it could change men's lives. I didn't know that fathers could change. But it's amazing to me when fathers come back a year later, 2 years later, and tell us thank you. Or they'll make a Facebook post and say, look at what I'm doing now. It's amazing to me about the level of work that we've been able to do and the lives that we've changed in just a short period of time. And the fathers who come back and say, thank you, I needed you, and you were there.
And shout out to Brothers United, man. Be you.
Hey, I'm Dr. P. Not only am I a leadership coach, I'm a change agent, and I'm a race scholar. I've used my study of race to dismantle systems and organizations, but I also use that to help you as the individual become a better leader for your families and for your community.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN podcast. How is our, all right, there we go. This is the CSRN podcast, a week in review, where we come to you live from Mott Branch Library. So shout out to Kevin and the staff at Mott Branch Library. They always roll out the red, black, and green carpet for us each week. And Jody, I think that we are a partner now with the library for the year to help with our programming. So shout out to Mott Branch Library. Family, we had a wonderful time last week at our Pan-African flag raising. We had our brother with us. So, man, look, let's just get into it. Brother, if you can, CSRN tradition is that you introduce yourself. For those who are just on audio, we'll say what we're wearing, and then we'll talk. We'll ask, what are we talking about today?
Oh, okay. Okay, that's easy.
All right.
I think you guys have seen me. I was on the show a month ago. Now we're into Black History. My first name's Harold. Last name is Harris. I'm kind of complicated. I know I am. I look at myself every day. I say my name is Harris. My first name is Harold, but it's more to me than that. I'm an activist in this city. Been one for about 7 years. I didn't even know I was an activist until people started calling me that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm an activist? Oh, you got to be kidding me.
That's crazy.
So, and then they labeled me the sign man. You know, people tend to give you nicknames. That came from when people didn't know my name, but they would see me with these big signs. So they labeled me sign man. Plus, I have a history. I'm a veteran in the military. You know, I served my country. I did 20 years. I retired from the Air Force. A lot of people don't know that part of me. They see activists, they see sign man. And I think, you know, when we go to Black History Month, when they look at a black man and they see a black man, they just see a black man.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't want to see what you're really all about. And I think for anyone, black, white, green, or brown, whatever color you are, for you to give your country, your life, you know, and volunteer to serve your country, it's a big deal. But sometimes people, when they look at brown and black people, I don't think they want to recognize that, especially when they see the word activist. Sometimes they think you hate your country. You don't love America. Well, guess what? I love America a lot. I put my life on the line for 20 years. I was willing to give my blood, my body, and my soul to my country. But that still don't mean I can't fight for the black and brown community. You know, I gave that up. I retired, and now I'm in another phase of my life. So today I'm wearing my Black Lives Matter, my pride and joy, my T-shirt. labeled, I got a small label on the front, a large label on the back for Black Lives Matter because of Black History Month. I figured this was appropriate time for me to break it out.
That's right.
I usually don't wear it until the spring and summer when I'm on the street and out in the community. But I think it's Black History Month. So I'm proud to be Black. I was born Black. I'm going to die Black. And I breathe Black every day.
Yes, sir.
And I love every moment of it. Yeah.
Hey, what was your take last week? We invited you to be a part of the Pan-African flag raising, and every year we either have an elder, and it's not something, Harold, that we say we want everybody to be there because everybody can't be there.
Right.
But we did want to seek you out because of what you've done for the for your campaign, what you did for hope in the city, that all of us can speak up and speak out. What was your take on the flag raising?
I thought about that. When you asked me to show up today and you said one of the questions is about that, the flag raising, the Pan-African flag. And, like I said, it's a lot. I'm a complicated man, very complicated. During my campaign, I mentioned in some of my interviews, a lot of people look at Black people in Toledo, they think we all came from Toledo. But originally, when I was born into this world, I was born in Savannah, Georgia. And the reason how that came to be is because my mother was from Savannah, Georgia. My father was from Alabama, Atmore, Alabama. He met my mother when he was served in the military, and he married her in Georgia. And, so really, to tell you the truth, like I said, I was proud to come here for Black History Month because I would say 99.9% of all Black people in America came from the South. And just like my father, his cousins, his brothers, his uncles, and a lot of people that lived in the inner city when Toledo was formed, migrated from the South. They migrated from immigration, slavery, discrimination, all of that, racism, to escape the South. We couldn't drink out of water fountains. We couldn't swim in the same pool.
Yeah.
We couldn't go to the same theaters. Racism was rampant. So our parents, my dad, he's dead and gone, passed on. But my mother, she's 90 years old right now.
Oh, man.
90.
Right. Whoa.
And I tell you what, I don't know why I use that word, but I've used it quite a bit. But I thought about it when you asked me to come on for Black History Month. I said, my roots is from slavery. It's in my blood. I was born in the deep South where all the slaves came into America. Just think about Savannah, Georgia.
Yeah.
Just think about Alabama, Mississippi, Florida. That's where we came from.
That's right.
I mean, before, after they brought us over from Africa and hunted us down in them jungles, and then they put the shackles and the chains on us and threw us on them ships like sardines, and we came to America. Some of us survived and some didn't. That's what I was thinking when I raised that flag up that pole. I was thinking about my ancestors, the suffering that we had when they tracked us down. We didn't take a 747 and buy a ticket and fly to America. We didn't jump on a cruise ship and come to America on a luxury cruise liner. We came because they hunted us down, because they went through those jungles and those villages and took us, separated us from our families, our children, and our wives, and our mothers, and our husbands. So that's what I was thinking. If you look at some of that footage from the day that we raised that flag, you can see my face. My face kind of glowed. It kind of lit up. I mean, it's hard to see it in a Black man's face.
All right. Yes, sir.
But that's what I was thinking when I raised that flag. And I'm looking up there. I'm thinking about my ancestors. I'm thinking about my relatives that came here to America. I'm thinking about the suffering that they went through.
So check out the your screen. We've got a picture right there. That was the picture.
Oh yeah.
From the flag raising. This was right before I spoke, and Pastor Willie Perryman, who was president of the NAACP or the NAACP at that time, and he was the one, Harold, that pulled me to the side because I was really upset because a lot of my politician friends that we reached out to because we wanted to do this for our city,
Okay.
And it didn't matter how we had to explain it. I just needed to know, who do I explain this to? All right, because we can't get a no. And he showed me how to do it.
Okay.
And of course he showed me how to do it, but we had to come ready for battle intellectually, because you just can't say, hey, listen, we want to raise this at one government center, and they're going to say yes. So this is the picture of us all together.
Well, that's our history.
Right.
We've always struggled. We always had to fight for every inch.
This is the picture right here.
Yes.
It's coming on now, where you were coming to the flag because we were about to raise this.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, man. And it was this. We got some beautiful pictures. We have a picture of Jody when he was in the commissioner's chamber.
Okay.
Right before he was about to speak, and Jody is the treasurer of CSRN.
Okay.
But also he's much more.
Okay.
Just like when people see you, they think, okay, he's just a sign man.
That's right.
And they think that when you were born with a sign in your hand, and that's it. That's nothing.
That ain't even all of it.
I know.
That's all they want to see.
And the next picture I'm going to show is you next to the Black Lives Matter sign.
Oh, yeah.
If there was, and I know there has to be a God, because we prayed for the day that we would have a Black Lives Matter sign at the flag raising. Our first flag raising, we posted our Black Lives Matter signs out.
Okay.
And we got a phone call.
Oh, for real?
That we got to take those signs up.
Oh, you mean had posted them on the grounds?
We posted them on the ground, and they came back and told us.
Because I know that plaza is all concrete. So how far out were they posted?
Right by the flag in the grass.
Oh.
So and sometimes you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. So we took them back. But 6 years later, we got a Black Lives Matter sign right there. All right. As my mama would say, look at God.
You know what? I tell you, that sign, everything I do, I always say, God speaks to me. I'm a real religious type of person. I believe in God. I believe he tells me what I need to do every day of my life. So I think 2 or 3 days before the flag raising, I had this sign. It's in my basement. And that's actually one I had a redo on this sign. I just about a month ago or so, I had it done. But something told me 3 days before, when I went in my basement and I looked, because that sign is pretty big. It's almost big as me.
Yeah.
It's talking to me. It's looking at me. He said, take me to the Pan-African flag racing. I said, what? And then I walked out of the basement and I still could hear that little voice. And I think it was God saying, you need to get that sign. You need to take that sign, regardless of how it goes down. Because I knew, as big as it was, that, I always think of it this way. I'm going to push it to the limit all the time. And I said, the worst thing could happen is somebody could tap me on the shoulder and say, you need to, get rid of that.
Or somebody will tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, you got a bigger sign? All right. So whenever you would touch.
I had already made up my mind that I'm going to stand my ground on this one. It's Black History Month. It's raising the Pan-African. I said, I'm willing to go to jail. Yes, I said, because if they say, either because they always press you and they push you into a corner and say, well, either you remove that sign or we're going to have to call TPD or you're going to be arrested. And you know what? About 2 months before that, I had talked to my lawyer. I call him my lawyer. We're really friends, but he is a lawyer. And I asked him about that plaza. And I said, well, if I'm standing on that plaza, am I breaking the law? He says, no, that's a public place. And I said, well, okay, thank you. That's all I told him. And so I said that I had made up in my mind, I'm willing to go to jail because I'm going to stand my ground on this one. And we can deal with it later, because I said he's my friend, but he is my lawyer too. And I tell you what, if I had got arrested, my civil rights is violated. Well, and you know what? I don't like that. I see that. And we see it in the community, and we see Black and brown, their rights being violated. And I said that, you know what? This is what I'm about. And I said, I'm standing my ground on this one.
Well, I'll tell you what, one on that day, February 3rd,
Mm-hmm.
that space there may have been and probably was the blackest space in the city.
Oh, it was.
So nobody's going to jail for being ourselves, or else they'd have to have quite a few paddy wagons, all right? Because you're not going alone, all right?
Well,
You're
I
not
thank you
going
for
alone.
that. I appreciate
so,
that, baby.
I was pleased to have you there. This is a photo that we have of the photo that that Lucas County commissioners took, and that's the commissioners, the mayor, Venice Williams, who serves as the president of city council, the president of the NAACP, and a host of other people that will join us. We didn't get a chance to get you in that picture, but you in the picture. All right, you may not be in the picture, but you in the picture nonetheless.
Okay.
And this is the wide picture of all of us out there that day. And this was one of all of our flag raisings are special because it takes a lot of follow-up to come back the next year.
Oh, okay.
And every year the level gets higher on what we're going to be asked to justify this to happen. And I think the Lucas County Commission, the Port Authority, I think Commissioner Gherkin, and everybody that fights the battles that I don't see.
Oh,
all I know is I'm showing up.
Oh, okay.
All right.
All right.
Everybody has
So
to.
you see, I didn't know that part. I thought once you had this done, was it 2 years ago, the first one?
6 years ago.
6 years ago. I thought it was a done deal, and it was etched in stone.
Well,
that this would be just like we have the 4th of July, we have Memorial Day, Labor Day. There's no question about it. The 4th of July is celebrated on the 4th of July, Labor Day, Memorial Day. You're saying this is one of these things where it's not.
I'll say this: I don't look at anything as if it's that I'm going to depend on it like that.
Okay.
And every year there's a fight. There's an internal fight. There was a fight with you thinking, am I going to take the sign or not? There's always some mixed feelings and controversy before we get there. Nobody knows your story, but there's a story. Nobody knows Pete Gherkin's story, but it's a story. None of us just get out of bed and just slide into our day. There's a lot of obstacles. There's a lot of things that most of us have to go through that qualify us to be there. So for everybody that's there, they may have had to survive a snide comment. They may have had to survive a negative comment or some doubt. So I congratulate everyone, and I realize that it's a humbling experience because nothing is guaranteed.
Okay.
So I'll always have that spirit that it's not guaranteed that we'll be there.
Well,
I'm not going to take it for granted.
I want to thank you for inviting me. I mean, I've done a lot of things in my life. I've had a lot of experiences. But I tell you, when I was raising that flag, I went home that evening and I said, this has got to be the biggest thing in my life. And I actually said, when I thought about the whole Black community in Toledo, in the surrounding areas, I wish I would have saw thousands of people, spectators outside when that flag went up. Because I not only did, when I look back at the pictures and I look at my face in the glow and the glitter in my eyes, I looked at other people surrounding me. Anita Lopez, Pete Gherkin, the NAACP. You look at those faces as that flag was going up, and you could see it meant a lot to those people that were standing there.
That's right.
I don't see in my mind how you could deny anyone that right to raise that flag.
That's right.
In this city. I think it's long overdue.
Yeah.
I believe when I saw that, you know what I did, man?
What's
I said, if I could call the White House and talk to President Trump, that flag should be raised above the Capitol and the White House. You know how they have the American flag?
That's right.
Raised above the Capitol, on the Capitol grounds and
the
White House. I believe since Black people, we've contributed to this America so much. We've given so much, our blood, our sweat, the free labor that we gave. It should be above the Capitol. It should be above the White House.
Yes, sir.
We built this country on the sweat of our ancestors.
Yes, sir.
So we deserve that flag. I know you did a lot to get that flag in Toledo, but your next push,
okay,
your
all
next
right.
push,
All right,
should
challenge.
be go to the Senate, go to the Congress, go to your state representatives,
challenge,
and put that flag on top of the Capitol in the White House.
Challenge.
I hope I see that
yes,
before
sir.
I leave this earth.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's your next mission.
All right. Thank you. All right. I feel like mission impossible.
That's it.
All
but
right.
everything is possible. Just like you thought when you started this one in Toledo.
Yeah.
But it happened.
That's right.
It happened.
That's right.
Anything is possible.
All right. In closing, because we're gonna take a short break. We're gonna bring Jody back because he has some community updates. There's some updates that I need to mention about what's happening with Savior's Day. That's the annual Savior's Nation of Islam convention that's going to be held in Detroit. I want to share this video, family. Let me link it up on the computer. This is a video of my brother Harold Harris. Last year there was a run for mayor. There was the campaign for mayor, and this brother created a video for his campaign, and it was beautifully done. The last time we were on, I don't think that I set it up properly. So halfway through or quarter through, that it had stopped. So I'm going to try to set this up right. Yeah. This is from Harold Harris for Toledo. It's the web come up on your screen soon.
Okay, I see it.
And family, I'm going to share this video, and after the video, I'm going to come back and ask brother if he'd be willing to come back and share some of his thoughts about some of the things that we really need to be doing in our community. So
I got one thing that, since you spoke to me, you said, Harold, once you come up down here for Black History Month, I did some research.
Okay.
And it was very surprising to me when I did this research in Toledo for Black History.
Okay, let's go.
Where we sit, probably 2 blocks down, headed back west. This used to be called the Black Mecca, Door Street. It was thriving, Black businesses. We always hear that.
Right.
Barbershops, drugstores. But one thing, and when we talked about Black history down at One Government Center, we have a deep history, rich history on the street. And I don't even think our young folk and some old folk that don't realize, when we talk about the drugstores, the barbershops, the theaters, the businesses, no one, after I did this research, I started finding out what I knew about this particular situation. There was actually, back in the day, in the 1970s, like 65 to 70, probably that range to 70, there was a chapter of the Black Panther Party on the street.
Man.
2 blocks down.
Yes, sir.
We sit on hollow ground right now.
That's right.
Those Panthers, that chapter, was actually supporting our community just like you do. And I look at the CSRN, the fists. That fist actually came from the Black Panther Party that said power to the people. That's what it's standing for.
You better believe it.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, young folk, like the little kids I passed as I walked into this library, they don't even realize where they're walking at when they walk down the street. They don't realize what our brothers, our fellow soldiers did back in the day. They were doing what we're trying to do now with Black Lives Matter, CSRN, all these other groups that trying to help the Black community, to try to lift us up, to try to make us somebody, And then when I researched this Black Panther chapter, that they had almost 2 blocks down the street, there was 2 brothers that I saw that I never heard anyone even mention in Black history. one man that well, actually it was two. And one of the brothers, and I don't know, you might know these names. It's a possibility.
Okay.
But I'm going to ask you if you're aware of it. But I'm trying to flip through these papers real quick because I have wrote it down because I didn't want to leave these young men out of the picture. And one of the young men that I was looking at was called, I believe his name was John Keelan. I think it was Cleellan. He was the leader of that chapter. Did that name sound familiar to you?
I think so.
Does another name sound familiar to you? Mike Cross?
Yeah, I've heard of him.
He was the second in that chapter. And those on 1970, TPD raided that building, shot it with tear gas. The building was burned to the ground, and they call it the Big Shootout. They had a gun battle for 5 hours on Dorr Street. That's epic. That's huge. That's huge. And during that time frame, there was two other young men in Oakland, California. Bobby Seale. Does that sound familiar to you?
Yes, sir.
Huey P. Newton. Does that sound familiar
sir.
to you?
Yes, sir.
All these young men were activists prior to us, that was doing what we try to do today.
That's right.
And you know what happened to that organization. They were stigmatized. They was looked at as a threat. And it reminded me of sitting with you a month ago when you said hands up, when you said about your signs. Are y'all gonna be militant? You're gonna do this or you're gonna do that? Well, these same young men that had that chapter on Dorr Street were not militant.
No, sir.
They were trying to help their community.
That's right.
They were trying to feed and clothe and give people a direction in life, to bring them out of poverty. But when they saw Black Panther and they saw these young men and they saw the organization in California, they looked at them as a threat and they wanted to extinguish that threat. And they did. But that's part of our history. Locally.
That's right.
Locally. There was another man during that same time that fought. He was an activist. It was Floyd Rose. He was a NAACP president.
That's right.
And he fought for civil rights, freedom, racism, all of that in this community. He lived right in this neighborhood. Right in this neighborhood. It was huge.
That's right.
But I could probably go on and on, but I just felt like, and even when I drove up this road this evening, I was trying to look for that address. The address was 3334 for the Black Panther chapter, that building, but it no longer stands. So all the addresses have changed. But I want to make sure on the record, I don't want to say off the record. I want to put this on the record. On the record. We had a Black Panther chapter right here, 2 blocks down from where I sit today. And now when I drive down this road, I can look to my left as I'm going east and say, that's where my brothers used to be.
Right.
That's where my brothers used to be.
That's right. That's beautiful.
And I think from my description that I just gave you, I'm almost sure you know exactly what I'm talking about.
We could paint a picture and they live in us.
Oh yeah.
We're them. That spirit is still alive. That's why we never mention our ancestors as dead.
Oh no. They live through us.
They live through us.
They live through us.
That allows us to do.
Another brother that was epic during that time frame was Malcolm X.
Yes, sir.
And when we, and I thought about that when I left the plaza and I left the flag raising, and when they said we're here to talk about Black history, I didn't hear those brothers' names mentioned. And Brother Malcolm, he started the Nation of Islam. Then he broke off, and then after he broke off, he was murdered.
Okay, well, all right. So let's just we'll end it right there because
you might have a different version.
No, because it was we're going to talk about Savior's Day.
Okay,
which is honoring the beginning of the Nation of Islam.
Okay,
and it was the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad that created all of these students.
Okay.
Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, Imam Wharf Dean Muhammad.
But that's part.
And Malcolm was one of our students.
Right.
And after getting this knowledge, we can do whatever we want with it. But no, Malcolm, he didn't start the Nation of Islam. He came into the Nation of Islam, I think maybe in the early 50s. And he was in the Nation of Islam for about 15 or 16 years.
Well, maybe I got it wrong. But did he break off and start his own?
He broke off and started the Muslim Mosque Incorporated. And if somebody out there listening, he started his own organization. As always, whenever our former slave masters and their children see us uniting, and we don't have to be in the same place to unite.
No.
All right. We can do our own thing. And they've always tried to isolate us, set us aside, and create an atmosphere so that they can come in and do what they've always done. They've done it to Dr. King. They've done it they've done it to Marcus Garvey. They've done it to Paul Robeson. They've done it to Toussaint Louverture. And the list goes
on and on.
But the
Stokely Carmichael.
Yeah, but the thing is today, we've learned how to secure our leaders. So we have not fallen victim as far as the Nation of Islam. We have not fallen victim to that thing of the past, that we protect our leaders. We make sure that they're free.
Well, I hope one thing that me being here today, and I hope your listeners out there in the world of CSRN, I hope either they recorded this themselves, they wrote down some important points, and go back and we're in the age of computers and the internet. Google these people.
Google them.
Google Malcolm.
Check them out.
Google Terry Hudman. Google all these other people, the past activists.
Check them out.
Floyd Rhodes.
Check them out.
Because we're walking in their footsteps right now.
That's right.
We're trying to. We'll never finish. I don't think. I was going to say we're trying to finish the job they started, but it looks to me like the job will never be finished.
Yeah, we got to finish the job that we started. All right. Hey, listen. Let me do a hard transition.
Okay.
I'm going to share this video, family. This is our brother Harold Harris from his campaign. This is the video on Harold Harris for Toledo.com. Check this out, family.
We're standing in Toledo right now. This is not the Mud Hen Stadium. This is not the bars downtown. This is not the riverfront. This is our neighborhoods right here. East Side, South End, the North End, West Toledo. We got blight. And these type of conditions breeds the crime. It needs to be cleaned up.
Let me just let it finish out.
Okay. Everybody's turning their back and turning the
I thought I had it together, family.
Blind eye to what's really going on. Let's get back into these neighborhoods and start helping these people that need the help. I'm Harold Harris. I'm running for mayor, independent, non-committed, and I want to bring change. And the only way we get it is cast that vote.
All right. Hey, I thought I had it set up, and I did. I did something else that messed up that time. But Brother Harold, I want to thank you for. Would you be willing to come back and share some of your insights on what's happening in our community, and share some of the solutions that all of us together can do to make our community a safe and decent place to live?
Definitely.
And I'll add this part, that way when Jody comes on, we could just do our community update. And Brother Harold, that's the theme of this year's Savior's Day address, is to make our community a decent and safe place to live.
You must be in my mind today.
Why is that?
When I came here, I wanted to give a shout out for Unity. Have you heard of that group?
Oh yeah, Sister Avian's
Hill. Definitely. And to your listeners, I want to give their website and their contact number for anybody out there that, they basically stand for trying to stop gun violence in the city,
right?
Trying to save lives, our young lives. Their email is sisters4, which is the number 4, unity 419 at gmail.com. Their contact number is 567-215-0045. If you know someone or someone in your family has been shot down in this city by gun violence and you need help, you need support, use that phone number, use that email.
That's right.
They're there to help, and you can reach out to them. And just like you said, we're about saving lives. I think not just in 2026. I've been trying to do that for 7 years. I've been trying to push that message. But it's time that we save our children, our fathers, our brothers, our sisters, our mothers, our friends, our neighbors. It's time to stop the gun violence. They talk about driving while black. Right now, we got black on black crime.
That's right.
A lot of these homicides and shootings and murders that we have, and a lot of it is in our black neighborhoods, our brown neighborhoods. We're killing each other. It needs to stop. We need to save our children, save our fathers, mothers, sisters, and brothers.
All right. On that note, we're going to take a short break. Back with our brother Jody and our community updates and follow-ups. This is the CSRN. Man, bring it in. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. We'll be right back.
All right.
Canal. En esta hermosísima ciudad de Orlando.
I'm here in Barranquilla, Colombia, and in sunny Miami. Daytona Beach, mis amigos, that's where we're at today.
Desde la ciudad de Cartagena, Colombia.
We are in Orlando right now, here in Florida.
I'm Helene Sheets, Director of Marketing and Communications at beautiful Lourdes University, and we've been a proud sponsor and supporter of Voces Latinas TV for over a decade. It has been a fantastic partnership. It's been our doorway into the Latino community. We've met so many incredible people, created so many partnerships. Our students absolutely love the connections we've made through Voces Latinas TV, and we're looking forward to at least another decade, 2 decades.
Mike was
good. It was a time.
all right. This is live, and we were muted when we came back. This is live. All right, family, we're back. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. Shout out to our brother Harold Harris. They call him the sign man, but that's like calling Jody a poet. All right, but anyway, hey, however you meet somebody, it is what it is. But there's so much more. I thank our brother for coming on and not only sharing about his feelings and his thoughts of the Pan-African flag race, but he also brought some local Toledo history on the street that were on right down the street with the Panthers, our brother Reverend Floyd Rose, and everybody whose shoulders we stand on today. Man, Jody, what we really need to get into, because soon what they're going to start doing at the library, Kevin and the staff are going to start flicking that light on and off, kind of giving us subtle hints that we gotta. They say you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the heck up out of here. So, Jody, I wanted you to share some of the things that you've seen over the week and some of the things that's coming up. And I'm going to share the 13th, the documentary, the 13th, that we're going to be showing later on this week. But I'm gonna have you go, and then I'm gonna pull up my stuff for that.
All righty. Well, just a couple of things going on. Of course, last week we had the flag raising and honoring of different people inside of city council chambers. If you missed it, there's photos all over the place. You can go to the Human Relations, City of Toledo, my page, Brother Washington's page, our basketball player.
Don't be looking at me. Don't look.
We honored some people today.
Yeah, but, don't be looking at me. All right, making me fail a test I didn't even sign up for. All right, not today.
Well, we had Terry
Crosby.
Yes, Terry Crosby, and he was there today. So,
okay, all right.
This is a 3-week celebration. So today we celebrated some people. I was in chambers because I'm not in chambers that much as I used to be because there isn't so many initiatives going on. But I was in chambers for that today. Last week we also had the executive meeting where, I guess that wasn't last week. That was yesterday. See. Time flies for me. But we had our friend, good friend of the show, Walla Khan, come in, and she talked about what's going on in Palestine and everything like that. So that was interesting being in my executive meeting. I was like, wait, did you tell them what the presentation was on? And I was happy, diversity, trying to figure out what's going on. Shout out to Pete, who is a big supporter, very loud voice in the room about us not taking money, about not giving money, and all the other stuff that he is a part of. Again, making sure that every year we get to come back to raise the flag, as Harold was saying. I'm not sure if it was on camera or off, but I was.
It was on. When Harold's here, it's on record. All right,
studio room, and that yes, it is not something that's like, oh, this is part of history and it's going to happen every single year. No, every single year we, wait to about end of December, January.
Yeah.
And then we got to start reminding them again, like, hey, y'all, you know what time it is? It's about to come. You don't want to see Jody climbing the pole and putting the flag up there.
Yeah. I don't want to see that either. All right. That's a whole nother story.
But so yeah, that was awesome. We also had with the Lucas County Library, because they're doing some great stuff. They had the Black Artists Meetup at the main library, and we had a lot of it was Nate Hicks, Mariah, and another person who came to Kwanzaa. I'm very, very bad with names, but they were all there for guest speakers. And this Thursday, I'll actually be one of the authors because we're doing another Black Artist Meetup. I'll be one of the authors speaking on authorship, entrepreneurship, how to get your book published, what it's like to have a book with more than a decade of history behind it that people are still purchasing and stuff like that from my very first publication, and some other things that went on or are coming up, because that was pretty much all that was really going on last week. There were some other events going on, but I do not see them on my checklist. So here's some stuff going on right now. It's, of course, the You Matter Day, Prevention, Suicide, and Kindness Awareness. That's still going on online. Also today, There was the
Hey, don't forget, before Danetta Walker get out of her car, Brown Bosses has been following us from Toledo to Detroit. She said that
she has.
I listened to you guys all the way to Detroit, Michigan. All right,
That is
so
awesome.
yeah, so I guess she kind of owe us for keeping her awake on the highway. All right, we'll send her the bill. Much love and respect, sis.
Also, happening right now is the TLR open mic at Handmade Toledo. I've seen some of my poetry friends get down there for their first open mics of the year. I promise if we ever have another day off, I'll be back down to see everybody. But there was the bystanders intervention in public spaces. This was at the main library. That was going on from 1 to 3 p.m. This was right after we had the second ceremony today for Black History Month, and that actually included Randall Parker.
All right, Brother Randall.
Yep, we had Randall Parker.
Or Bishop, also the Bishop. All right,
the third.
Put some respect on his name, Jody.
But he was one of the honorees, and it was good to see him out and about and not online and stuff. We also had Warren and Yolanda Woodbury, who does the chess team. I believe we had them on the show before.
Look, Brother Warren, yeah, we go back a long way.
So they were one of the honorees.
Much love and respect to that family.
Alicia Smith of Junction Coalition, she was one of the honorees, and Dennis Hobson.
Class act, all those are heavy hitters.
Yep, all of those people were honoree. Next week is the last week for their celebrations because for the last 6 years they do 3 weeks.
Yeah,
and then they celebrate a whole bunch of different people. So I look forward to next Tuesday. If you would love to be a part of it, it's inside Chambers, 11 a.m. Try and get down there about 10:30 for parking and stuff like that for the Black History, because they had mentioned it, and I don't read the news. Just have become a part of it and what I see in short clips. But there was some backlash to this year, and they were like, so we're going to keep doing it. So shout out to all of our commissioners for, even if they get backlash, because we only see the part of activism that we have to do. There's a lot of legal exercises that they have to go through and threats and stuff behind closed doors. But you know what? They stand up and they still have this thing going on for 6 years. So looking forward to year number 7, raising that flag, and maybe being next to somebody else who will get the first time to ever raise a flag. I mean, that is something that is very monumentous. How many flags have you raised on government property?
That's right.
Without getting arrested?
That's right. Yeah, that's the key right there. All right. Hey, anything else?
I believe that's all I have. Wait, nope. There's some things coming up, and I'm just gonna run through these real quick. So things coming up right now, if you love poetry and open mics and stuff, Respect the Mic has the Lovers Mic going on. This is tomorrow, 7:30, and that's going to be at the Code, 827 Star Avenue. So there's painting and sipping. We have Sax Fifth on the mic. We have our special guest, which she speaks, and there is going to be the feature of Shay. So if you like open mics, this is our comeback because we didn't do the first of the year. So shout out to Sunkiss for always being a great host of open mics and everything like that. Also coming up this Thursday is the dinner in honor of Jake Plavlica. If you don't know who that is, very good friend of mine. He's one of the reasons behind my piece Toxic, which started the childhood trauma series. So that's going on at Sideline Sports Eatery. There is this Friday, the 211 Community Learning Lab. That is going to be in Perrysburg, Ohio, 6363 Depot Road. It's in Perrysburg. So you can look it up. Also, this Saturday at 5 p.m. is the Connected event, Valentine's Day event at 415 North Michigan. That is our friend C. Crystals. She's having an event. And this Sunday is the world premiere at the Maumee Theater of the movie No Love. If you haven't been on social media or Facebook, you might have seen it a lot. I know I'm waiting for the masquerade ball scene where me and Nate Hooks and Rob Lewis and a whole bunch of people took over that mansion that sits in the West End. Is the first Black performers to ever be able to perform there without having to be behind the secret doors and stuff like that. But Shout out to Fierce Cheers, AR Truth, Wayne Wallace, and a whole bunch of other people that were part of this production. We shot in 2022, I believe it was.
All right.
So it's been waiting a long time for production. I look forward to everybody that gets to go out to the red carpet and be a part of that.
Yeah, and shout out to the Mommy Theater too.
Yeah, shout out to
the Mommy Theater has been holding it down for local artists, and big shout out to them. And listen, before we check in, get to 5 minutes of heat, there was a couple of things that I wanted to highlight. Next week is going to be the 2026 Savior's Day Convention, and this week's edition of the Final Call list as Savior's Day 2026, a homecoming in Detroit, and it says anticipation is spreading across the country as thousands prepare to travel to Detroit. That's where Donetta is right now for the crowning event of Black History Month, the Nation of Islam's annual Savior's Day Convention. Savior's Day 2026 will take place at the Huntington Place. This year's title is "We Must Make Our Community a Safe and Decent Place to Live." And how do we do that? By improving ourselves. I can't ask for somebody else what I don't have for myself. So we got to improve ourselves mentally, morally, spiritually, academically, politically, for the good of myself, my family, and our people. So join us on the 22nd. That's where we'll have our Savior's Day main address. But from the 19th to the 26th, join us at Huntington Place. Go on our website, noi.org, for all of your ticket and registration information. And that's put that on your bucket list. All right. If you have never been to a Nation of Islam meeting, and it's 2026, and most of us say what I would have done if I was here with Marcus Garvey, Stokely Carmichael, Dr. King, Malcolm X. Hey, bro, we still fighting, and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is still here, alive. All right, we're still holding it down. So put it on your bucket list. Sundays, 11 a.m. 1416 Nebraska. That's the Padua Center. We're using the Padua Center right now until we get our mosque repaired. We're going to probably start on that as soon as the weather break. But put that on your Black History bucket list. Come to a Nation of Islam meeting. Will they make me join? No, sis.
I've spoke a couple of times with them. And to piggyback on that, as people say, what would you have done back then? The same thing you would do right now. Same thing you're doing right now. It just becomes history later on. It happens in the moment. Nobody during that stuff was like, this is gonna make history. It just
they was just doing. They was like the sign man.
Yep.
It just, hey, I'm doing this because I'm compelled. Something in me is saying I need to do something. All right, and they do it. Lastly, on the 15th, that's this Sunday at Monroe Street Church. That's 3613 Monroe Street. CSRN and Monroe Street Church are co-sponsoring a documentary called The 13th. Filmmaker Ava DuVernay in 2017 explores a loophole in the 13th Amendment that allowed for a new form of slavery, criminal punishment. The 13th provides a well-informed explanation of how this loophole has been exploited in the American incarceration system and how it contributes to systemic racism. Gain understanding through a discussion led by the co-host after the film. I'm going to be one of the co-hosts. So a lot of the things that we're going to talk about is, everything that they wrote in those amendments really ain't true. All right. So come check it out so that you can have a comprehensive understanding of what's written in some of these articles. It really didn't include you. And if it included you, it wasn't good. All right. So join us the 15th of this month. And shout out to Monroe Street Church and the staff there for continuing to host revolutionary and very provoking things in our community. All right. Having said that, Jody, this is the time that we wind things down.
Yep.
And we have what we call 5 minutes of heat. This is where we close out, and we don't close out with a gavel of like Robert's rules. We close out with creative expression, and 5 minutes of heat comes from the old Houdini song, 5 Minutes of Funk. And as all things Black, we take it, remix it, all right, reformat it, and make it work for us in 2026. And this is the way we close out. So, Jody, for 5 minutes of heat, what do you have for us today?
I have a history lesson.
Oh, okay.
So last year was the Black Media Day, sponsored by our state rep, Elgin Rogers. And I was asked 6 hours before the event, could I write something? And then I got piggybacked to ask by our Toledo Sojourner Truth and Fletcher Ward. He said, can you write something? So I'm like, I got all this pressure and stuff. I got to do this research. So this is the first piece that I've actually researched to incorporate into a poem. It's a little long piece, but this is Black History Month. So you're about to get some Black history. You ready?
Let's go.
So, Black media shapes bright futures. Let's begin. Peace. Extra, extra, read all about it. The first Black-owned and operated newspaper began in New York, 1827, founded by Reverend Peter Jr. and other free Black men. It was a 4-page column weekly newsletter from 1827 to 1829. It was a vital source of information for the Black community, covering regional, national, and international news, as well as addressing issues like slavery and colonialism. Other notable Black newspapers from the 19th century include The Colored American, 1837 to 1841, The North Star, 1847 to 1860, The Frederick Douglass Paper, 1851 to 1863. Sources cited: Wikipedia, UNC Hussman School of Journalism, PBS, and Boston Public Library. Notable mentions from my neck of the woods: The Sojourner Truth, Toledo, Ohio, publisher and editor Fletcher Ward, and the Toledo Journal, publisher Sandra Stewart, and editor Myron Stewart. Final Call, publisher and editor the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and The Bronze Raven, created and published by Richard Belcher, 1953 to 1976. As we continue our journey down Black history and media in this beautiful country we live in, I would like to bring up Max Robinson, who was the first African-American broadcast network news anchor in the United States, co-anchoring ABC's World News Tonight from 1978 to 1983. The year I was born. But we can't just talk about those that we see on our screens or read in the newspapers. See, Black media encompasses all forms of media. In radio, which Jack L. Cooper, born in 1888, is widely considered the first African-American radio host in the United States, making history as a radio announcer and the undisputed patriarch of Black radio. Notable mentions from my neck of the woods: Charles Welsh, or better known as Charlie Mack, started the Juice 107.3 WJUC and entered in the history books by becoming the first African-American in Ohio to start a radio station from the ground up. Sources cited: Wikipedia, Civic Media, Radio.com, and MLB.com. My generation subscribed to magazines. The first Black-owned magazine was The Crisis, founded in 1910 by W.E.B. Du Bois as the official publication of the NAACP. A short history for those from my era, and mention just a few more from these publications. The Crisis, 1910 to 2011, focused on civil rights, history, politics, culture, aiming to educate and challenge readers on issues affecting African Americans. Ebony, 1945, founded by John H. Johnson. Ebony was a glossy pictorial magazine partnered after Life magazine, but tailored for Black audiences. It highlighted the accomplishments and positive news of Black people. providing a platform for Black representation in a world saturated with stereotypes. Jet, 1951, also founded by John H. Johnson. Jet was a weekly magazine that offered entertainment and national news coverage. Notable mentions from my neck of the woods: Rapper's Delight, Toledo, Ohio, publisher and editor Terry Scott. Starworth Magazine, publisher and editor Stacy Fowler. Finally, I want to leave this off with Black radio stations, since they have the foundation of getting media out to the world and masses. As of October 2021, NABOB reports that there are 221 Black-owned radio stations, including 117 FM and 103 AM stations, 117 FM stations and 103 AM stations. These are just a few of the stations. Weird, WERD, Atlanta, Georgia, considered the first radio station owned and programmed by African Americans, established in 1949. WGPR, Detroit, Michigan, Detroit's first Black-owned FM radio station, now known as Hot 107.5. KPRS, Kansas City, Missouri, the oldest Black-owned and operated radio station in the United States, founded in 1950. Notable mentions from my neck of the woods: The Juice, 107.3, WJCE, sources cited: Wikipedia, Jacksonville Free Press, Toledo Blade, and Atlanta Magazine. I thank you for taking the time to listen to me read about these moments in Black history, and I hope you research the names that are unfamiliar to you. But I would be remiss if I did not mention Frank Wright, owner and operator of Power 109.9 Flip and Flex Radio, Toledo, Ohio, where I started my career in entertainment on a show called Cast Off, being who you are even when it's unpopular. Writer and editor, Jody L. Summers.
And as always, we snap our fingers, all right?
That's
a lot. Well, it should be, because we put a lot of work in.
Yeah. As in history, we put a lot of work in. That is also in my latest book, Childhood Trauma Series. And, I hope it educates some people. It took me hours to research that and have it right. That's the biggest thing with our history being erased and stuff like that, is to have it right.
And as always, all lives can't matter until what? Black lives matter. And Black lives can't matter until all Black lives matter.